What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Vivid Iceland. In today's episode, we're doing a bit of a throwback to one of the older videos on the channel, the South Coast Backcountry. So we're going to be visiting, revisiting quite a few places shown in that episode, starting first of all with a short mountain hike just up Stóra-Dímon behind me there. We're going to be checking out some waterfalls, some forests, hopefully, and we're going to be heading into the Highlands as well. Fingers crossed, it's accessible. I'm just looking at the river next to me here. There's quite a bit of ice on it, so let's see how far we can get into the Highlands. Now, with that said, let's strap in and hit the road. After doing a bit of research for this video, I came across some interesting history about this little mountain. It is the site of a famous skirmish that featured prominently in Njál's saga, one of the more famous sagas written during the settlement period of Iceland. I'll include links and a map in the description below for those interested. All right, that was a decent hike up. Could probably take you around 10 to 15 minutes, something like this, to get up here. It is worth it. The views up here are absolutely fantastic. Check this out. It is thought that Stóra-Dímon was a small island, similar to the small mountain known as Pétursey, which I featured in a previous video. It's made up of palagonite and was either formed by an undersea eruption or a subglacial eruption many thousands of years ago. This mountain has eroded at a much faster rate than Pétursey due to its proximity to the massive Markarfljót River and the many glacial outburst floods that occur whenever the nearby volcanoes erupt. Now, if you remember from the last video when I was out here, at the bottom of this tiny little mountain hike there is a cave. So I'm just heading around the corner now to check it out, see if anything's changed. Somehow I don't think so, but let's go take a look inside. Now, only about a 2-minute drive north along the gravel road, you'll find the turnoff to this cave. Venturing around the backside of the mountain, you'll spot the cave in no time, and it's really not very difficult to climb up the slope to get into the cave, where you can check out some of the very interesting rock features inside. I can imagine this would have been a cozy place to stay the night back during the settlement times of Iceland. Scattered all over the grassy areas around the cave entrance, you can find many crowberry bushes, but unfortunately at the time of filming this video they are overripe and no longer worth picking. And just a few meters further along the riverbank you can find this massive basalt lava dike with a tiny little nook overlooking the mighty Markarfljót River. Not wanting to waste any more time, I headed further into the backcountry, only stopping briefly to fly the drone around these many waterfalls cascading down the nearby mountains. Beautiful to see the autumnal colors along with the many icicles forming around these waterfalls. I think I was quite lucky to be able to capture the yellow, orange and reddish hues of the local flora here, because in previous years the autumn colors only last a week or two before a huge storm normally whips through the area, blowing all the leaves off the trees. After leaving the main road behind me, I officially entered the Highlands on road F261. Driving quite literally on the river's edge, there are some spectacular rock formations along the way, but I had to be a bit careful while filming and driving here because the road is quite narrow at times and you can encounter vehicles coming the other way, so drive slowly and stay vigilant. Now, after driving for what felt like hours, I eventually made it to my destination. Alright, so we made it quite far into the Highlands today, a lot further than I expected us to get. It's pretty nice, honestly. I've never been out this way before, so I'm quite happy to be out here, especially this late in the year. I would have thought the road would be impassable by now, but not too much snow around, so I think it was pretty easy to get in here. You do need a good 4x4 though. There were a couple of spots along the way that were a little bit sketchy, but I managed in the end. I only have a very small Jeep Renegade, as you can see over there. But anyway, we're here at the destination I was looking at on my map. I'll just swing the camera around, you can have a look. This is called Einhyrningur. Hopefully that's the correct pronunciation for it. Roughly translated, I believe it means unicorn, and well, you can see why with the singular stack just pointing up there. That's probably where it gets its name from. Anyway, I'm going to shoot this drone up and yeah, grab some nice footage from this area. Standing at 651 meters tall, this mountain towers over the surrounding plains, but it is however dwarfed by the nearby volcanoes of Hekla at 1488 meters tall, as well as Eyjafjallajökull at 1651 meters tall. It has been said that the famous Norse explorer Eric the Red, in fact, used to live around the foothills of this mountain prior to his exile from the island due to some, shall we say, disputes that may have involved him murdering a few people. Anyway, it was during this exile that he and his allies are said to have discovered Greenland. I'll put links in the description below if you're interested in a little bit of Viking history. Now, I'm sure I say this a lot in my other videos from the Highlands, but the area surrounding this peak is truly out of this world. I really have to come back again in the summertime to go further along this stretch of road to see what else is waiting to be discovered. So make sure you're subbed to the channel so you can be the first to know when I head back out there. Okay, it's getting a bit chilly out, so I just have to turn around, head back. There are a couple of spots along the way that I think I might stop at, and yeah, we'll check them out. Stay tuned. Backtracking along the F261, you'll pass by these massive walls of what appear to be basalt that snake their way through the landscape for kilometers on end. Eventually, you'll round the corner to see the always stunning Eyjafjallajökull volcano and glacier in the distance. So this beautiful canyon that I've been driving through for the last couple of minutes is known as Tröllagjá, as you can see over there. This place is absolutely incredible. Not too sure how long it stretches for, but it's quite an amazing drive. I think I might fly the drone up, get a better idea of things, so let's check it out. I struggled a bit to find much information about this canyon online, but it appears to have been formed around 2,000 to 2,500 years ago during a massive glacial outburst flood from Mýrdalsjökull. This does seem to be the most likely scenario to me, as most of the rivers in this area flow out from this glacier. Okay, just as I started to drive out of here on the way back home, stumbled across what appears to be a huge cave in a strange rocky outcropping. So I'm just going to pop over there now and check it out. Nestled in this beautiful location opposite the Eyjafjallajökull volcano, this cave has some truly interesting rock formations inside. This particular feature looks a lot like the valves of a heart, and it makes me wonder if this cave is actually the remains of a giant troll that was petrified by the sun and subsequently hollowed out by the early settlers of the island. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if this place has been used for camping and cooking for centuries, you know, once the Vikings settled this place. Looks pretty cozy. I think I'd certainly stay here back in the day if I was on my way further into the Highlands of Iceland. Leaving the gravel roads of the Highlands behind me, I finally reached the smooth tarmac and headed straight to my next destination to enjoy the long sunset. Okay, one of the final stops of the day, Þorsteinslundur, or Thorstein's Grove. One of my all-time favorite spots here on the South Coast. Pretty sure I featured it in a number of videos. Of course, links to those will be either up in the top corner or in the description below. Let's have a walk around. It smells wonderful out here. Very autumny, you know, dry leaves on the ground. It's beautiful. Let's check it out. This tiny forested area is super secluded and often overlooked by most people traveling along the South Coast. It's a great spot to come for a picnic and to enjoy the trees, as you don't see many of them in Iceland. There is a very short walking trail through the grove that leads you across a bridge and towards the small waterfall that cascades down the cliff face. You can see here that some Huldufolk, or the hidden people of Iceland, have made their home at the base of this waterfall. Heading back to the car, I knew it was time to shoot the drone up and grab some aerial footage of this incredible sunset. Now, a little bit of history about this grove. It was named after Thorstein Erlingsson, a poet who grew up in the neighboring farm of Hlíðarendakot. He wrote a number of poems during his early life in Iceland, but never gained much recognition from them. After graduating from school, he moved to Copenhagen to study law, and while living there, his poems started to gain a little bit of popularity back home in Iceland. And while he never did finish law school, he decided to move back home to Iceland, where he wrote for a newspaper and did some part-time teaching. He unfortunately died from pneumonia the day after his 56th birthday, and he is now immortalized here in this beautiful grove next to his childhood home. Okie doke, so I think I'm going to wrap the episode up here in front of Glugafoss, one of the many waterfalls you find here on the south coast of Iceland. This waterfall was of course featured in that South Coast Backcountry video and probably a few others if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, today, pretty successful day. I'm quite happy we got as far as we did into the Highlands, and I reckon I'm probably going to continue on that road, I would say next summer. So stay tuned for that episode. Anyway, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching the videos. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you to everyone who has stuck around to the end of this video. And as a reward, I'm happy to give you a discount code to use when you book a rental car for your next adventure in Iceland. I've partnered with the guys at Blue Car Rental, and by using the code VIVID at checkout, you'll get 5% off your next booking. Iceland is certainly not the cheapest place to visit, so I hope this helps you save a bit of extra cash and helps you enjoy your next holiday here in Iceland. I'll see you all in the next video.